Brand yourself to attract six-figure business. Okay. Oh, it's not. Hold on. Let me make sure I could move my slides. Okay. All right. So the first thing that we want to do is make your brand marketable. Okay. So what I want to focus on is a lot of people, once they start, especially now in the beginning, if you're not already like a licensed real estate agent, or if you're in the program to be a real estate investor and you may not have any past experience, people are kind of like, I don't have anything. What am I supposed to put on my website and stuff, because I don't have any like past experience and stuff and sales and stuff to share. And so that's what I'm going to get into, because you have to, whatever you put out there, it has to attract people so that, people will come to you and want to do business with you. Okay. So part of this, what I tell people, the best way to get your marketing plan together is you have to kind of step outside yourself and think about it as if kind of like if it's part of like being able to pitch your brand. Is like it's the same thing as being able to have a brand that is, like, people will say, pitchable, meaning if you were going to a company or a journalist or something and you were pitching the brand, is how the journalist would like tell a story about you, how they would differentiate you from other real estate agents and other real estate investors. It would have to be very personal and it have to be very different. So you need to think about it as like, giving a media representative a reason to remember you and to associate you with like positive, newsworthy quotes, interviews, content, things like that, so that people remember you, or for those things. Because in this day and age, like, we're marketed to like all day. Like, I don't know any platform or any type of electronic or media that we're not being advertised to all day. And so if it's not something memorable that somebody will remember and think, hey, let me pick up the phone and call this person, then your brand is not going to be successful. So the first thing is you just want it to be something that is marketable. So you want to make sure that you or your business is well branded. And for you to do this is not to like, it's not going to involve any type of like massive change and things like that. It's just, we're going to go through like a checklist of, hey, this is what you need to make sure you have in your branding. These are the type of things that you need to be aware of. These are the things you need to make sure that you do. Okay. So you want to answer questions like, who are you? So if you're branding yourself, remember I said, think about it like if you were being interviewed by journalists. So the first thing is you have to be authentic. So the need for authenticity is even more important because there's so much competition in real estate. So you have to be really authentic. So you have to be yourself, right? Because nobody can be you. So if you're yourself, that's how you kind of like beat the competition. So being yourself means like you're steering yourself out of your comfort zone every day, because it's not going to feel comfortable to put yourself out there because you're not used to it. Like even now, sometimes like just putting myself out there, it's not as comfortable as I would like it to be, because it's not something that you're constantly, or that you may have grown up doing every day, to just keep promoting yourself. But that's what you have to do. So you have to kind of like dare yourself to be a little different from what's already out there in real estate, because what you want to do is you want to stand out and you want to tell like a meaningful story about yourself. Like, what is your real story? And, feel free to include like, dark bits of your life, or painful bits of your life, or like embarrassing bits of your life, and share like your wins and things like that too. Because all of that makes up your story, and someone cannot replicate your exact story. So that's why it's very important to answer the question, who are you and what are you going to share so that you have this, this brand that's marketable. So, because basically what it is, people like people, or people are attracted to people that are real, because whenever you spot somebody and you think to yourself, okay, this person is real, what happens is you pause and you actually start to listen to that person, because you're like, oh, okay, wait a minute, this is a real person. Like for instance, I was at a meeting the other day, and this really top agent, she was getting up to give like a talk, and then um, when she woke up to the mic, she was like, oh, she had her phone in her hand, and she was like, oh, I was texting back this person. She was like, oh, because one of my clients is locked out of his house. So he's texting her because he needs to get access to the house. So so she's now about to give a presentation, and she's trying to coordinate for somebody on her team to go meet him to let him into his house. So when she said that, it made me pause and say, oh, let me really listen to this person, because those are the type of crazy things that can happen doing your day as a real estate agent that most people probably don't really talk about, but people will do just crazy stuff like that. And you're like, oh crap, it's my client. I'm about to do something. I have something scheduled, but now I need to somehow get this guy back in his house because, somehow he locked himself out. So it made me immediately like pause and say, okay, because when you listen to presentations back to back, sometimes you could just zone out. But when she said that, it made me laugh, and it made me say, okay, she's gonna be real. I know that she's a real person. She's gonna, most likely her talk is gonna be interesting, and she's gonna really share the truth. So that's what I mean, is that being real, it makes people pause and listen to you and take you seriously, because people want to hear about failure and setbacks and how you overcome it, because it's very hard for people to relate to perfection. It's kind of like whenever somebody is branded as perfect to you, like, the first thing we kind of think is, okay, like, what's the real story? Or people will say, well, what's the tea on this person? Because even though you're seeing this perfect image, you don't believe it, because you're like, I'm not perfect. So you can't relate to somebody being completely perfect. So you're always like, this person is presenting themselves as perfect, but in your mind, you're thinking, And then as a person shares like overcoming failure and things like that, you start to relate more to that person. So that's what you want to do in your branding, is you want to talk about like your story and your life and things that you've overcome, why you're even in real estate, and stuff like that. So you want to talk about one of the things, like, ask yourself, I have these questions written down to ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? Okay. Hold on just one second. Yeah, what do I want to be known for? What is unique about me or my product? What is my mission statement? What is my tagline? What can I do for my ideal client? And what big problem am I in a perfect position to help them get past? So after you've answered these questions, you can drill down and get specific. So it's not enough to just make people think you're a real estate agent or you're a real estate investor, because there's millions of real estate agents and real estate investors. So that's not something that people are going to remember you by. So they should think of what makes you different, or they have to instantly think of like, what is your signature, right? So like, for instance, I was going over because I met the top salespersons of Magnolia Realty. She's a real estate agent. And so I was thinking about like branding and stuff like that, of course. And I was thinking of like real estate people that I love, like their branding, right? So what should you got to think like, okay, what should somebody instantly think of when they see your photo or your logo or they hear your name? So this is like Chip and Joanna Gaines. So instantly I think like home renovation. They do a lot of farmhouse style decorations. I even see them, Magnolia Realty, they have like I was in Pier 1 and they had like a Magnolia Realty brand and Pier 1 and things like that. And so when I went back, because I didn't even know they had an actual real estate agency. So when I met her, I went online and was looking, at, their stuff. And it was like, the same consistent branding, like their listings and stuff are, they're staged perfectly. They look like absolutely like they're just out of like a magazine. So that's what you got to think is once you pick what you want your brand to be, is going to need to be consistent across everything that you decide to do, so that instantly when people see the photo of you or they see their logo, they instantly be like, oh, okay, that's Magnolia Realty. I recognize it. So it's the same thing for you. Is somebody see your logo, they see your picture, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I know the type of stuff that she does, or because it makes people feel comfortable to do business with you. So if you're branding your business, it should be front and center. Whatever you decide, it needs to be front and center on your web page. Okay, so whatever like the landing page is, all of these things that you're saying are like ideal for your client. They need to instantly be able to see it. So that needs to be conveyed in the images that you choose and things like that, the stories that you tell, all that comes together and creates your branding. So that's why I just wanted you guys to think about this is that it's all going to come together. So it's all about what your ideal client sees. So that's why I say think about it like if you were interviewed, because it's all about how somebody sees you from the outside. So if you do your marketing very self-centered, it's not going to be appealing. You have to think about how someone else is looking at you, how you want to be perceived by someone else is how you need to think about this. Okay, so if you just sit down and just write about you just from your own personal self, it may not be as persuasive as if you just think, okay, if I was being interviewed and somebody needed to create a story about me, what would it say? What would they say about me? What would spark someone's interest to learn more about me? Because like a lot of times people just follow me because maybe they saw a video or they saw something and they were like, oh, I just wanted to learn more about what you were doing or something like that. So it's the same thing. You want people to remember you and want to learn more from you. Okay, so one of the first things that I tell my students, the students that I have one-on-one, a lot of times the first thing I do is I Google them. And it's always surprising. Like the other day, even I had a girl that signed up, and when I Googled her before, wrote down what I saw, what was inconsistent, what was consistent. What I concluded from Googling her was that she was a new agent. However, when we got on the phone and started our first session, she had over 10 years experience. So I was like, what? So I was like, I didn't get that at all from any of your social media. Like from nothing that I found online conveyed that you were an experienced agent. So I just assumed that you were a new agent. So I was telling her, walking her through, hey, you got to go back and update all your bios and stuff, because you're losing clients because people are Googling you the same way I do, and they think that you're someone with no experience. So you got to go through and update all your bios, and it needs to be consistent what you update. Okay. So create both a long and short versions of your bio, and it could just be like it's basically an about page. Okay. And like I said again, think about, say you were creating like a media section bio. It should focus on what a journalist will find most interesting to give to their readers. Okay. So your bio page should focus differently on what your ideal client is. So you should focus on what your ideal client is going through, what they would identify with, and what would inspire them, right? So for instance, let's use an example. Say like your ideal client is veterans, right? I remember I had a client that was a veteran, and he wanted to use his VA loan to purchase a property. And so while I was talking to him, he said, okay, I'm going to go. I was talking to him about getting his pre-approval for his loan. And his response was, oh, he was going to go down to the office to get this, like, if I remember correctly, there's some type of like VA loan certification or something like that. So I was explaining to him that that is not the loan when the VA gives him the eligibility. And he was like, he didn't understand that. He was like, oh, I thought that was the loan. So I said, no, you still need to go out and apply for a loan from like a bank, a credit union, some type of loan, mortgage broker. And so that's an example of a problem. When I mentioned it to my husband, he said, oh, that's pretty common because, in the military, they tell you that you're eligible for this VA loan. He said, but nobody actually tells you like the process of what you need to go through to get a loan. He said, so that's pretty common. So that's what I mean is, if that's your ideal client, in your bio, you can talk about that's what you help, veterans with. You help them through the process of, getting that certification, but also that, hey, they also need to go get a loan, choosing the best lender. What should they look at when they're comparing loans and things like that? Because you know that these are common issues that they're facing that they don't understand. So that's what I mean in that your story should be about how you help your ideal client. It should be about problems that your ideal client is going through and how you help with that. Or on the investor side, it could be, you want to talk about, hey, you know what it's like, or that you've helped people, that it's really stressful to be in a pre-foreclosure status, and you want to help people through that process so that they know that they have options. So that's what I mean is that your bio is about how you want to appeal to your ideal client. Like, why would your ideal client reach out to you? So that's what I'm saying is, if you just go and write a bio about all your successes and your this and your that, it's not as appealing because the person is sitting there like, what does that have to do with me? If you just have, oh, well, I sold 100 houses, blah, 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 it's not as appealing because the person still doesn't know how that connects to them, that one person in particular needs to reach out to you. They don't make that connection. It's like, okay, you're a top agent, so what? What does that got to do with me? So that's why you want to focus on that. Okay, And so the other thing, when I say to update your bios on social media, this is so important because one of the things I find when I Google people is it's not consistent. You need to be using the same picture, the same bios and things like that, because sometimes when I Google people, when I get on the phone with them, I'm like, oh, I found this, but I wasn't sure. Is this your Instagram? Or I found this, I wasn't sure if this is your Facebook, because it looks so different. So you want to keep things like consistent and cohesive so people know that it's the same person. If you just have a lot of different pictures and you keep looking different in the pictures, like in your profile picture, it throws people off because they're like, oh, I'm not sure if that's the same person. So you want to keep have a professional picture that you always use as your profile picture. So like I said, yeah, focus on what they're going through, what they will identify with and will find inspiring and energizing. And that's the other thing. You can talk about problems that people are going through, how you identify with them, but you want to also talk about some inspiring and energizing stuff. Some people will say, well, Neva, I don't have any I don't have any sales yet. I haven't helped any distressed sellers yet. I haven't helped, if I'm a realtor, I haven't done any sales yet. That's why I say it's about you, because you could say, hey, your story could be, when I purchased my first home, I had an amazing realtor. It just inspired me that, I want to now, help people in such a major purchase. Or it could be the opposite. Hey, when I bought my home, my realtor was awful. I just had such a bad experience. It made me think, to just learn more about the business. And as I learned more, I just wanted to help other people so they wouldn't encounter what I went through. So you see, this is what I mean. It needs to be like a story because you want people to buy into your story. That's what makes people want to work with you. That's what makes people remember you. So that's what you want. You want to be memorable. You want to inspire people. You want to energize people. You want people to feel confident, when they reach out to you. I kind of advise people when they're new to not come out saying, "Oh, I'm brand new. I just got my license." Because to me, I think that sets you back when you come out and you're like, "Oh, I'm brand new," because not too many people are going to want to work with you and you're brand new. Even a distressed seller is going to be cautious because they don't know if you know what you're doing. They're like, "I'm already in a stressful situation. I need a professional." So for me, like, I've never marketed myself that way. Like, my very first client, they have no idea that they were my first clients because I never, marketed it. "Hey, I'm brand new. You're my first client," because I didn't want them to be paranoid. So for me, that's why I say there's still something that you can create a story, because if you're interested in real estate, there's something that has inspired you to get, that you're saying, "Hey, I want to do real estate." There's some story, there's something that has impacted you to move forward, to sign up for training. So there is some story there. It's for you to pull it out. And like I said, act like someone was interviewing you. What would you say? Why did you sign up for training? Why did you think, "Hey, this is something I should finally really do"? There's something there, and that's what you need to convey and bring out in your branding. Also, ask yourself, if you do it, like I said, Google yourself and really see if, what is on your social media really, represents who you are, what you're about. Not all your posts have to be business topics, but just always think before you post personal stuff, is it a good idea to get into the habit? Just ask yourself, will my ideal client identify with this post? Will they find it entertaining? Am I posting something that contradicts what my mission is? So ask yourself those questions when it comes to like personal stuff that you post. I would say to stay away from like politics and religion, because those are two topics that just alienate people a lot. So you just want to like avoid things like that. And then, it's just important to just lighten up and just have like a human touch. That's the main thing, is to have a human touch, because you'll even see big companies, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they pay, all these people to represent your company so that it brings out like a human perspective, that when you think about it, of a Pepsi or a Coke, you think about a person. Because if you just think about a brand, you just think about a corporation, nobody really cares. You can't really connect with that. So they're always trying to get different people to represent the brand, because people can connect with people. They can't really you can't connect with a brand and you don't know anything about the brand at all as it relates to people. Like, do they donate to, causes, and are they active in my community? Like, those are things that people want to know. People are not just throwing their money at whoever comes out and says, "We're the best." People are like, "What makes you the best? Why should I give you my money?" Okay. Also, here's a tip. If you put, just enough care and thought into your short bio, you should be able to use it across many platforms without adjusting it. So if you update it, once, you should be able to copy and paste that same bio, across all your platforms and make it easy. If you find that you're rewriting and rewriting, that means you probably need to go back to the drawing board and refine, what that main version, because it shouldn't be something that you keep having to change. It should be something that you come up with, is short and sweet, and you could just copy and paste it, to all your profiles. One of the things too, before I go any further, is sometimes people are like, should I, hold on, I have my notes here. I just want to make sure I didn't pass. I think I might have passed. Wait a second. I think I might have passed what I wanted to talk about. Let me just make sure. Okay, I did this one, did this one. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, so here we go. So let's talk about your website. Okay, so number one is, make sure all your content on your websites and your social media and stuff is up to date. Also, I would advise you to update like the popular social media bios first. The reason is that even though you have a personal website, I have a personal website, when you update those bios, like if somebody Googles you, those are going to show up first. Okay, so it's going to take a long time until you really build up your website that Google's going to give your website like juice, so that when people Google you, it shows up at the top. So like now my website has been out there for years with different blogs and different, like, the more you like blog and people share your content and stuff like that, Google will start to push the website up in the algorithm. But originally, when you first make a website, when you Google your name, it's not going to come up because Google is like, oh, it's brand new. Nobody else is sharing that content. They don't do that. But if you go, like I tell every realtor, you need to have a Zillow profile. If you go and Google yourself, like your Instagram is automatically going to be at the top. Like my YouTube, if I Google myself, hold on, probably if I show you guys an example of what I mean. Like say, because you guys can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen. Say I went here, I Googled myself. If I Google myself, that's what I'm saying. I Google myself and now my website shows up. But my website's old. It's probably been out there. I'm sure, I don't remember, but probably 7 years or something, right? So it finally shows up at the top. But like I created a Google business profile, so that shows up here at the top. So you can do that. Create a Google business profile. But look, the first thing that shows up is my YouTube channel. So that's what I'm saying. YouTube, Zillow, Keller Williams. If you with Keller Williams or like your brokerage gives you guys websites, those are gonna show up first. So that's why I'm saying you should go and update Facebook, update Instagram. Look at this, LinkedIn, update LinkedIn, because those are automatically going to show up first. Like for me, Amazon, because I wrote a book, Amazon shows up on the first page, Instagram shows up, Twitter. So all those social media platforms, those are always going to show up first. So literally, if you go and update it today, you're going to automatically get that feedback. It's automatically going to be, as soon as somebody Googles you today, your LinkedIn is going to pop up. Your Google business account is going to pop up really, really quick. So you want that. It's going to be on the first page because, like I said, when I first started, even though I put in my name and it's me, my website, it would be like probably 100 pages down if I Googled my own self. So it's going to take a long time before your own web page ranks. So use the ones that are already going to give you a ranking. So if you're a real estate agent, that's why I tell every realtor, even if you're brand new, you need to go on Zillow and create a profile, because when somebody Googles you, Zillow's going to be right at the top. Okay, so just a tip there. That's what I mean when I'm saying to Google your social media, because when you start marketing and sending out postcards and stuff like that, the first thing that people are going to do is they're going to Google you. And if they think it's not a legitimate thing, they're not going to call you. So that's the whole thing. You just want it to look like you're somebody that's been in business for a while, you know what you're doing and things like that. You don't want it to look like people Google you and they're like, I didn't find anything, because then they're like, they don't know if this is some type of fly-by-night business you got. You know what I mean? So you just want it to look, like I said, let the other platforms help you. So go and update those. Like I said, just use. And Google Business is really good, because if you create a Google Business account, add some pictures and stuff like that, that's definitely going to show up on the side here. If you Google anyone that has a Google business, it's automatically going to show up here. So if you have like, a unique thing, like say I had like a We Buy Houses, Neva, or something like that, somebody Googled me, it would be right here on the right, because there's no competition. There's nobody else that would have my exact name. So that's why I always advise to open up a Google business account, because that will, even if none of this ranked over here, like YouTube, Zillow, Keller Williams, LinkedIn, say none of this ranked, the Google business is definitely going to show up. So if you're a real estate investor, you got a home buying company or a real estate agent, you definitely need to go and open up a Google business account so that it definitely shows up. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, let me go back to where I was. Okay, I believe this is the last slide I was on. So just wanted to emphasize that, because that's one of the key things. Like I said, doesn't take any money, but that's one of the key things that I know is in my students when I meet with them, that is incomplete. And I'm like, before you start spending money on marketing, go and do that, because you don't want to start marketing and spending money, sending out letters, and when people Google you, it looks like I said, it looks like you're not professional. Then it's gonna make your letters not as effective, because people are like, I don't really know, who the person is. People want to see you. They want to see a picture. They want to know that it's a real person. That's what they're going to think. Who is this that sent me this letter? Who the heck is this? So, like I said, even sometimes people, because I have my phone number out there, people will even text me, hey, I got your letter. I saw you had some good reviews online. Can you call me today at 5 p.m.? Stuff like that. So I'm telling you from experience that I know people are going to Google you before they reach out to call you. Okay. So you want to go through, and then let's just go through a checklist for what needs to be on your website. I wanted to make sure I thought I had skipped this before. That's what I was looking for. The things that need to be on your website. So you want to make sure your website is complete. And so one of the things you want to do is make sure you don't have like any broken links and stuff on your website. You want to just go through and look at your the media, the pictures you have on there. Just make sure things are up to date. Also, please use a professional profile picture. I know sometimes people are trying to be creative, but you need to have a professional profile picture. And then if your other pictures online, could be other things, because people have a full life, so your other just pictures could be other things, but don't have your profile picture I remember at Keller Williams, there was an agent there. He was interviewing agents, and he went on Facebook to Google some guy, and the guy's profile picture was a picture of his abs. So it's the same thing. He told a guy, he was like, look, you need to fix that, because he's like, I'm not gonna have, because they're already a top team. He's like, I'm not going to have people Google you, and when they find you, that's the first picture they see is a picture of your abs. That could be another picture someplace else, but don't make that your profile picture, because it just looks unprofessional. So that's what I'm saying. Always have your profile picture be a professional picture. And even if you don't have an actual picture that's professional, you can take a picture, with your phone or camera, and enhance it, edit it, and make it look professional. Like I always let me pull up another one that I use. It's Canva. You could go to Canva. Yeah, you go to canva.com. This is my Canva. Canva is free, canva.com. You go to canva.com. So you came here, you can create a design. Okay, and Instagram, I'm gonna just click, because you can create any size picture. I'm just gonna show you an example of, you could take just a regular picture and you just want it to look, you just want to enhance it some. So for me, you could just go here. You would just add a grid first. Like I said, Canva is completely free, and they have a tutorial on it, but I just want to show you real quick what you could do, because I use it for my YouTube thumbnails, stuff like that. You just come on here. I would go here and find a picture that I upload. So say I picked this picture. Okay, just make it big. So okay, hold up here. How do I should just be able to click, and it takes up the whole space. What did I do? I think maybe I just need to click out of it. Yeah, there it is. All right, and then all I do is, what I would do, I would come here to this picture. I would hit adjust. So on social media, you always want to like do stuff like this. You just go on here and you want to heighten the saturation, because when you heighten the saturation, it makes the color pop. Whatever colors are in the picture, it makes it pop more. You want to like brighten the picture. Contrast, you could move that up some, because that's going to make sharpen the picture some. And then what you could do, you could go down here, you see where you see like size, this is at 44%. I usually take it down to like 25%. So that's what you can see. This is how this picture is going to look online, because it's going to be smaller. So that's what I'm saying. You could just enhance it. You could crop out stuff. If I want to, crop out my hands or whatever, and just make it. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be an actual that you went and paid to take professional pictures, but you can enhance the picture. And all this stuff you could do from your phone. Like, even if you don't go on Canva, if you just click on your iPhone or Android and just play around with the saturation and the light, and enhance the picture, and then post it and make that your profile picture. So you want your profile picture to be a picture that pops, that just looks pretty, that just looks, just makes you look like a professional person. Like I said, you could always have, other stuff on your, you don't want every single picture to look, doesn't have to be professional, but at least your profile picture definitely needs to be like a picture that, is a professional picture. So I just wanted to show that real quick. So yeah, I use Canva a lot, and you can also use Canva. If you ever see people use those pretty blog posts and things like that, you can use stuff like that for Canva as well. And all this, of course, is going to be saved in the in your checklist and action plan for this module. So you don't have to. You'll be able to get more info and play around with it. But let me go back here. But I just wanted to show that. That's what I mean when I say to have a professional picture, because that's one of the first things usually, like I said, when I Google people that reach out to me, just simple stuff like that, I'm like, hey, you gotta fix that. Okay. And then just go through your website. You should have like an about page, about you, like I said, a contact page. Make sure you have like your phone number, email. If you have any client success stories and stuff, make sure you post that on your website. Things like I said that will appeal to your target audience and make them feel, hey, yes, I do want to do business with this person. Okay. So make sure that, everything about your brand is current and fresh and up to date. Don't make it that, when people Google you, it looks like, that was a picture from, from like 10 years ago. Like, just make it look up to date. And then also just think about, are you truly focusing on your main message or like the program? So just think about, like I was saying, with the story that you create on yourself, you also have to live that out on social media. So like, if you have, like I said, update your profiles, your headshots. The other thing is, if you decide, like for me, my branding is like family. I'll have like my kids on there, stuff like that. That's what I mean is, whatever you choose for your branding to be, you got to live that. If you're saying you help veterans, and you need to be posting stuff about veterans and what, programs that are open. If your niche is first-time home buyers, you need to be posting stuff about how you help first-time home buyers. If you have like a session coming up that's providing information to first-time home buyers. So whatever your niche is, whatever you've decided, you got to live that. You got to say, if you're saying you that you have a specialty, your specialty is Baltimore, you need to be posting stuff about Baltimore and what's going on in Baltimore. So you have to live what you decide that your brand is. You got to live that on social media so that you become known for that. If you're saying you help people in Baltimore, but you always post stuff about Virginia, people are like, I'm confused. You know what I mean? So you got to live what you say that your brand is. It has to be consistent across your social media. Okay. The other thing is, people sometimes. Oh, hold on. I hit this thing too fast. All right, so step 2 is to be presentable, but don't wait for perfection. So that's one of the things too. All these things that I am recommending for you. Like I said, with the social media stuff, honestly, like the first weekend, that's something you could easily go and update all your social media platforms. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you can immediately after this call go and fix that and make sure you got a professional profile picture. You could go immediately and fix your LinkedIn. That's not something you need to be working on for 4 and 5 months. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but like I said, some of this stuff, it just needs to be presentable. So that's the main thing. When I present information, I try to do it in a way that you could take some action steps. It's not that you need to wait, 6 months in after you've built everything in. Like, right now, just go on your Facebook. Does my Facebook profile, does it look professional? Does the what is that? The big header? What is that a picture of? Is this something that people are gonna see and think that I'm an idiot or something? Is it a picture of you drunk or something? Then you want to take that down. Stuff like that is what I mean. Like, just clean your social media up. Okay. The other thing is take the time to go through your website and your social presence. And, like I said, this is like a checklist I'm giving you of what you need to go and tweak. So I'm just giving you some suggestions and some things you could do. Because some of you, some people on here, they already have their license. They've already been busy being a real estate agent. They're just looking for ways to improve. So this is for you to go and improve. Or if if your website is new, to make sure that these things are on your website and on your social media. The other thing is color is extremely important. It's extremely important what color you choose to use, because remember, you need to consistently use that. So you need to choose a color scheme. So a color scheme is like a collection of colors. Could be like maybe 3-4 colors that you say, okay, this is my brand, and all of your branding, your websites, and things like that are in those colors. Because remember, everything you post, your website, business cards, all that stuff needs to come together. It shouldn't be random. It shouldn't be your business card is red, your website is black. It needs to be cohesive, because remember, people need to see it. You only have like 3 seconds for people to remember you. Okay. So people need to see it and immediately know, oh, this is so-and-so's card. Oh, so it needs to be consistent. So you need to go and pick color schemes that you like and know, okay, this is my brand from here on out. And like I said, with doing, when you hire VAs and stuff to do logos and stuff for you, you say, hey, this is my color scheme. I need a logo in these color schemes. All that stuff, your website, business cards, all that stuff is going to need to be in the same colors. There's a website, it's Coolors, is COOLOR.co, that is real easy. You can go there. If I think I have it up, because some of the websites I wanted to show you guys, I had it up already so that I could show you real quick. It is here. It is, and you see, you could just go. You can explore, and they already have schemes. Like, say, like these colors right here. So these are schemes of colors that like go together. Like mine's is, did I save mine? Because in case you don't know, color codes, let me see. I'm trying to see if I have mine. Did I open mine up to show you? Because like mine's, you'll see it's a pink, a green, a white, and gray color. But you have to, the color schemes, like for instance, you may not know this, but when you go to hire any VA or someone to do your logo, there's a color code. So it's not just, hey, give me a pink logo, a pink and green logo. It's, I don't know, I guess I didn't save mine. Yeah, I didn't leave it open. Because, for instance, mine is, let me look it up real quick, just so I could give you guys an example of what I mean. Hold up. I thought I had it open because I was talking about color. Yeah, so like my color code for my pink, the pink that I have, it's C3327F. So say like I went, hold up here. I could go to any, hold on, I'll just open a new tab. Say I just went and did C, it's C332, what did I say? C332 7F, right? There's a particular color. Hold up, let me see, color code. I'm trying to see. Yeah, here it is, the different color hexes and stuff. I was trying to find a website that like has all of them. So that's what I mean. When I hire somebody, you would give them these codes. So when you go onto like this site that I was just saying, thecolors.co, I have the link below in the action plan and checklist. It's gonna give you a color code. So you always want everything to be that. So like my color code, there's a gray that I have color code, a green, and I'll tell them, hey, these are the colors, these are like my logo colors, like, like my signature colors. And I'll tell them that. So like even when I hired the guy that did these slides, I gave him my color codes and said, hey, when you do the slides, I need you to use these color codes. So that's what I mean, is that when you go and pick colors, be aware that, it needs to be consistent from here on out. You don't want to pick a color, and because that's the whole point, is that so soon somebody sees this, they're like, oh, okay, time for investing. They start to get used to just seeing that same particular look and feel and color. The other thing is, let me make this bigger. When you pick colors, there's a whole psychology behind colors. So when you pick colors, be mindful of the reason that people use a particular color. Like red is like a color for like passion, excitement, action. People use it for sex, romance, stuff like that. Pink is like a feminine energy color. It sparks creativity, fun, romance. Orange is friendliness, fun, social ability, recreation. And if you look, just going through this, because like I said, just going through this and you look at other brands, you'll see that there's a reason that a company will use a particular color. So like yellow is intelligence, science, willpower, playfulness. Green is wealth, money, nature, and health. Blue is a trust color. You'll always see the president in a blue suit. You'll always see, because it's a trust color. It's a respect color. It's shows that you're reliable. So if you go to like lawyer websites, a lot of times they're blue, because blue is a trust color. Like, so if you're like certain occupations, like I want to be a lawyer and have my signature color be pink. You know what I mean? Because a lawyer, people are looking for somebody that they can trust. Purple, spirituality, individuality, feminine energy, creativity. Black is masculine, force, clarity, evil, rebellion, sex. Brown is earth, business, masculine energy. And white is like innocence, simplicity, cleanliness. So you just want to be mindful of that when you pick colors, what you're trying to convey. There's a whole psychology to color. There's a link that I'll leave below, because like I said, if I talk about the psychology of color, we'll be here all day. There's a website, I think I saved that as well, to be in the link below, where they talk about the psychology of color and marketing and branding. So I'll leave that to be on your to-do list for you to read through, because you'll see that color sparks a lot of emotion. So that's why, if you take, like I've taken a lot of marketing classes and stuff, and color is so important, because it's all about the emotion and the feeling that you want people to get when they see your brand. So there's a whole study of color. So you want to like I said, I'm gonna leave this link so you'll have it in the action plan. And then I just did a quick snapshot here in the presentation so that you can quickly look. Let me open this back up. You can quickly look and see, okay, that when you pick your brand, that the colors that you pick are consistent with the brand you're seeing. Like for me, and I'll go on because I have some other examples that I also included in the presentation. The other thing is to, I know it's early, but you need to get an autoresponder, because this is going to give you, when you go to websites and there's like a sign up form and stuff, you need to start doing that, because at least in the beginning, if you don't have any clients yet, then you need to be reaching out to your family and friends. That's what I did in the beginning. My first list of collecting names and, getting prospects was all my family and friends. So you need to get an autoresponder, because there's no way you're going to be able to keep up with that just on your own. So I always recommend MailChimp, because MailChimp is free until you get up to 2,000 people. So, that's a big, a big plus, because most autoresponders are going to be probably about $50 a month. So you could use MailChimp at least for free. And right now, put it on your list that you need to create a Facebook page. If you don't have a Facebook page for yourself, you can either do it for yourself or for your business. It's up to you. Some people keep their separate. If they have a personal Facebook, they only keep it for personal, and then they'll have a business one, they only keep it for business. So it's up to you which one you want to do, but I would say at least have a business Facebook page, because like I said, the algorithm is going to give you juice immediately. If you create a Facebook page in your business name, immediately when people Google you, it's going to be at the top of the page. So that's why I'm saying, by the time you try to get your own personal website to rank, like I told you, it's going to take a long time. But if you create a Facebook page in your business name, when people Google that, it's going to pop up immediately at the top. So that is, the blessing of using the social media platforms to promote your business, because they're automatically going to rank. When somebody Googles you, they're going to automatically rank at the top. Okay. Some of the other things to list, as you're talking about, okay, what do I need to have and promote? Anything, like I said, if someone was interviewing you and doing a story on you, if you had, you had a speaking gig or video, anything that you could say, hey, I was featured on this, I was featured on that, include that on your webpage, include that on your Facebook, include it on your Instagram, that you were featured on that. And even if it's something local, like you were featured in the Virginia paper or something like that, anything that you were featured in, make sure that you put it in there. As you're doing your bios and your websites, any type of public speaking, like I said, just anything that is noteworthy, please include it, because you're just building a story for yourself, and it just builds more credibility, basically. And that's why I say, like, if you're a real estate agent, you definitely need to be on Zillow, and that's what you would put. Hey, go sign up for Zillow. If you're a real estate agent, sign up and go and get a couple reviews, and you'll be able to then put, hey, I'm a Zillow. Zillow will give you it's called Zillow 5-star rating, and you'll be able to say, hey, you'll be able to put that on your promotions that you're a Zillow 5-star agent. So that's what I'm saying. That's really easy to get, as opposed to if you still keep trying to build out your website. So that's what I'm saying. You're going to build your website, but you have to know your website is not going to just rank at the top overnight. It takes a long time to get your personal website to rank. So that's why I say build your website, but make sure you do all these other things on social media so that you can get, like some juice going about yourself. And you do not need to have a completed business, but make sure that what you do show is a representative of who you are, who you serve, and what you do in your field of expertise. So that's the main thing. It doesn't have to be completely, it doesn't have to be complete when you start, but just focus on, hey, like for me, I do short sales. Just focus and say, hey, if you owe more, if you owe more than, your property is worth, those are the people that you help, things like that. You just want to get across who you serve so that people know, either they refer people to you that you can help, or they know that they can call you. Or like I said, a lot of times when you start your own marketing, people are going to Google you and they want to see that you actually specialize in what you're contacting them about. Because if you say, for instance, you say, okay, I'm going to reach out to expired listings. These are people, they tried to sell their house, the house wouldn't sell. You reach out to them, a lot of times they're going to Google you. Those people that you need to have on there. Hey, you need to have something saying, hey, have you tried to sell your house before? It was unsuccessful. That is what I do. I specialize in helping people figure out why the house didn't sell, and, revamp the marketing, or, things like that, and get it sold. So that's what you want. When they want to be, that's why I keep saying it needs to be consistent, because you don't send out marketing to expired listings, and then when I Google you, you're talking about pre-foreclosures, because then people are like, oh, well, my house is not in pre-foreclosure. So that's what I mean. It has to be consistent so that people know, hey, you specialize in this area and I can reach out to you for help, okay? So as I said, step 3 is think professional and be professional. Okay, so the main thing is this business, I would say, starting out, this is easy. It's just about making a commitment to succeed, and a lot of people just don't do that. Like, I had a student recently, she just got all her mailings and stuff out, and I was telling her, just telling her how great that was, because I was like, some people don't make it that far. Like, there are thousands of people that follow me on YouTube, but probably only maybe 1% of those people maybe are actually, taking the information that I provided, doing something with it, and really putting the marketing plan together, and, really, getting their business going. It takes a lot of commitment to, work full time, and then you're trying to do this on the side and build it out. It takes a lot of sacrifice of your time. Like I said before, that, you got deadlines and milestones that you make for yourself, and you're trying to work towards hitting those, and then you're trying to work, and you have a family and just other commitments as well. So a lot of times people, they're not willing to make the sacrifice. So that's what I would tell you is, it's easy, but the hard parts are doing the commitment, sacrificing the time to get stuff done. And like I said, change your story. This means that, you just got to be honest, and you got to be transparent, with people, and with yourself. Like I said, you can't change. You got to change. When I say change the story, I mean, you can't keep saying, you don't have enough time, or you don't have enough money to get started. You just got to get it done. You got to just say, look, I'm just going to start with what I have. I'm just going to, if I can only afford to send out 10 letters, I'm going to send out 10 letters. Just change that story, that, hey, whatever it is that I need to do or that I can do, I'm going to do it. If I got to stay up all night, you just got to get ruthless. If I got to stay up all night, I got to do it. Like right now, I broke my toe. I can't be like, oh, I broke my toe, I'm not going to do my class today. People have already paid and are waiting for the class. So you can't, you got to change your story and say, look, I'm going to push through. I want my students to succeed. I'm going to push through. I'm going to show up. I'm going to give the class. I'm going to give a great class. People are, they're going to leave and they're not even going to know I'm in pain. So that's what I mean. You got to change the story. If you're going to sit around and wait for things to be perfect in your life to get started and stuff, it's just never going to happen, because that's just not how life works, So change your mindset. Just make a commitment to succeed. Be willing to sacrifice to get this stuff done. And like I said, change your story and start saying you're not going to allow yourself to make any more excuses and things like that. You're just going to, if you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Okay? So express your brand, express yourself. And that's the main thing I've been trying to convey, is that you got to sit down and it's about you. Just think about, if I was being interviewed, what's unique about me that I need to convey in my branding. And that's, it's all about you, because if you got to be unique. You have to be unique. Like I said, there's millions and millions of real estate agents and investors. If you just come out talking about, you're a new agent and you're a new investor, that's not memorable. Nobody is going to remember that. So that's why branding is so important, because branding is what helps people remember you. So your brand, it needs to be clear. It needs to just be synonymous, with you, with what you want. Like I said, the first impression of people to have with you. So I just wanted to give you guys like some ideas, because sometimes people are like, how interesting can I make a real estate ad? They're like, buy or sell. I help people buy or sell. But I'm like, no, you can make it unique. So I wanted to show you guys, the whole point is that your brand, like I said, your colors, right? Your colors, pick what the colors that convey your personality and focus and stuff like that. Colors that convey trust, friendliness, that you're approachable, right? Like soft colors and stuff if you're like a woman, because that's the thing too, people want to be able to approach you. So I wanted to show this one because I love her branding. She's one of the agents in my Keller Williams office, and her name is Annie Severati. And what her branding is, it's the busyblinds.com real estate. And immediately when I first saw her branding, I have always remembered her branding. Even sometimes I can't remember her name. And if I have like a question or something and I can't remember her name to look up, I still remember the Busy Blondes. And so that's what I'm saying is, she's blonde, right? And so you can see how that branding is, it's pink, it's feminine, it's energy, it's soft, but she's also conveying that, hey, she's about her money, she's about the business. They have like that soul sign, the house of soul. She's saying that she's busy. So definitely I'm saying is, don't shy away from what makes you unique. You need to bring that out, because I always, like I said, I always remember her. I always remember, oh, the Busy Blondes. Okay, so that's what I mean, is this is a good example of being memorable, and it's not just oh, I help people buy and sell houses. The other one, she's another, and I picked two so I could show you how it could be like so different. So this one is Nikki. She's a top agent in our office as well, and she focuses on what she does is she only focuses on one particular city in Virginia. So she focuses on Reston. So her branding is, she has I am in red, and then she has a Reston resident. So she lives in Reston. She's also a realtor, and she's like, oh, and I'm your resource for home buying. So that's what I'm saying. Both of these ladies, you can see their branding is simple. It conveys the message. It's memorable. And it's also going to reach out to different people. Like Nikki saying, hey, I'm really focused on Reston. So people that are looking to buy or sell in Reston are going to reach out to her. So it's the same thing. What I mean is to focus on, it's about getting your main message across so that people remember it. And it could, like I said, it could be real simple. As you look at this stuff, it's real simple, but it gets a point across. It's straightforward. It's friendly. And, it makes people, if somebody Googles them, say, hey, they have legitimate businesses. I'll return their call. So that's what you want. So the bottom line is, both of these real estate agents, they emphasize their own personal branding and action. And it's in their own unique voice, their own unique style. And that's what you want to do. You want it to be in your own unique style. Like I said, a lot of times the biggest hurdle I find new agents and new real estate investors are like, I don't have this, I don't have that. Like I said, just think about the reason that you want to be a real estate investor, the reason you want to be a real estate agent, and you can use that for your branding. Hey, if you're saying, this is the means to an end to help my family, those are things that you can brand, that you're family oriented, that, those are all things that you can brand. Like I said, just think about your story. If you think about it in a story form, it makes it easier to come out with an actual brand, because that's what people want. People want a story. All right, so social media must-haves. So like I said, think about it like this is your media page, okay? And if a journalist was trying to pull up stuff on you, what you want them to see. If they were saying, hey, and that does happen too, where I've gotten interviews and stuff that way. So you want to think about, what would you want them to find, right? So like I said, have a short bio, and have a long bio as well, but have a short bio, because some of the social media platforms and stuff can't actually hold your long bio. So like you'll see sometimes you'll have to put like a short bio on your Twitter, but on your actual web page you can put your actual long bio, and like I said, a recent professional headshot. Now, let me go back to this slide actually, because I wanted to go over what your short bio definitely needs to have and what your long bio needs to have. Okay, so your short bio, it definitely needs to have like your big why. Okay, why you're in real estate. It definitely needs to have that. And like I said, if you could focus more in a story form, that's the best thing, because people remember stories. So it needs to be very personal. And if you can, your short bio, what's really good is make a video, because people love video these days, and you can embed the video on your web page. You can embed the video on your Zillow, all that stuff. So you could do a short bio in video form as well. The other thing is, think about just making it like interactive and stuff with different images, pictures, archives. Like I said, your video thumbnails. I have been getting much better with that. Like I said, now that I use Canva to go and make some memorable images for thumbnails and things like that. If you have any press releases or anything like that. And then like sound clips, if you have pictures with you and like past clients and stuff like that. Pictures of you with homeowners. I mean, just anything that people can use. Pictures of you working. Actually, I think I saved that as well to show you guys that my book, this company, I think if I just Google my name, they featured my book one time, and I didn't even know until I got the notification. Let me see if I Google myself. I think I came here. Let me see if I can find it. It was like the Lioness. It was, yeah, they're in South Africa, and what they are is they're a group in South Africa to like to talk about like inspiring like Black women business owners and things like that. So I just got a notification one day that they picked my book as like a featured book for the month or something like that. So I just was like, what? So like this image here, they created this. They found this picture of me online. And this is the cover of the book. And they created this image. So that's what I'm saying. Think about like if you were being interviewed or somebody was trying to find info on you online. So when I got the notification, this page right here was already up because they had already picked the book and stuff. So when I came, I was like, oh, wow, like they had already, had this whole image together. So that's what I'm saying is, and they had already had this whole write-up about the author. And this was all just what they found online because they never interviewed me or anything. I guess maybe somebody read the book and liked it and decided to feature it. And they said, hey, we're going to pick this book for their book club for that month. So that's what I mean is think about things you want people to find. It could be just a picture of you working, a picture of you at a closing, things like that kind of convey, the business aspect that you're a professional. It could be a picture of you, out looking at houses, stuff like that. So just, be creative. Just think of things, like I said, if someone was building a story, images that would support the story. And those are the things that you want to post and have out there about yourself. Okay. Okay, so I'm trying to go faster because we're actually over an hour, but actually this is being recorded, so if you have to go, this is going to be, it's recorded and it's going to be uploaded and be on the training platform. So you'll have access to it in the future. The other thing is, like I said, video would be great. Video is really big. Also, another reason, I know a lot of people don't like video and putting themselves out there, but for video right now, all the social media platforms, they actually give more juice to video. So video, what I mean by that is with ranking, meaning, like for instance, if you Google me, you'll see that there's a section on that page where my videos show up, and what that's doing, those are videos that I have on YouTube. Or even if it was a video on like Facebook, Instagram, anything like that, it will automatically pull it. So that's what I'm saying. If you use the platforms that are already there, that are already going to rank you high, you could, if you post like a video to Instagram or something with like a short bio about yourself, when people Google you, it's going to automatically be in that feed because right now the algorithm loves video, and the reason is that people just love watching video. People got their phones, and so it's just much easier now for people to watch video, because even when I look at my analytics, most of my videos, people view them on a mobile device. So most people are viewing videos right on their phone, and so that's why video is like so popular right now. So if you can just push yourself through it, just do a quick bio video about yourself, that'll be excellent. Embed it on your website, embed it on Facebook, embed it on Twitter, all that stuff. It just, you, like I said, these are things that if you do literally like overnight, those are going to show up on social media. Whereas if you were to like post a blog or something, it's going to take months for it to rank. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you tips that you could do. Like I said, just because you're new, you don't have to give off the persona that you're brand new and you don't know anything. These are things you could do and automatically look like an expert overnight. And that's what you want, because, you know, once you start marketing and putting yourself out there, you want people to look at you as you specialize in real estate, that you're, you know, you don't want to be seen as somebody that's learning. You want to be seen as a professional. And so that's what I mean is, think about, you know, being how your audience, your customers, your clients, think about how they can be things that you can post and do to be interactive, because that's the thing. People want to know you, people want to talk to you, things like that. So that's why I say put your contact information out there, put your email out there. People want to be able to contact you. So always have your contact information. I could drill that into you because I've had that so many times where somebody called me. I even had a client one time for one of my listings. He said, "Oh, I saw one of your videos, but I could not find your phone number." So I have gotten much better with making sure that I put my phone number and my email everywhere, because you don't want to lose someone because they're like, oh, they like what they see, but they're like, oh, I couldn't find the phone number to reach her, because not too many people are going to do 2, 3, and 4 steps to find your phone number. Some people, they don't see it immediately. You know, they just gonna move on to the next one. So that's why I say create a Google page, because if you create a Google page, that's automatically gonna be on the very first page, because there's no one else that's gonna have an exact business name like yours. So, and if it is, if you do it, Google it first to see, but you shouldn't have an exact name that another, that another company shows up. You know what I mean? You want your Google page to be unique so that somebody Googles you, that only you show up, okay? So like I said, step 6, create a bio that speaks as if you were there. And in your bio, you just want to make sure that you've included like your availability and ways for people to reach you. Like if you prefer people to email you, say that and put your email address. If you prefer them to call you, say that and put your phone number. As I said, you can also always hire a VA to, if you don't want them the calls to go directly to you. You can always do that. But like I said, don't leave that for people to just, see something they like and they don't know how to reach out to you, okay? And then add 1 to 2 sentences about why you're perfect for this niche and how you can help them, yeah, right? Because that's basically what you want your mission statement to be. You want to convey how you're just perfect for this. So like I said, even if you're brand new, you can say, look, I know, I've seen the stress that people go through not understanding their options in the real estate business. And, I just wanted to, and I'm just talking off the top of my head here, and just say, hey, I just wanted to make a difference. I just wanted to be an ally for people and let them know they have options and represent them, and things like that. You just want to do that. So that's what you want to convey when you're talking about your mission statement and your bio and things like that. You just want to talk about, basically, because you're new, don't shy away from saying you're a professional is the thing. Don't shy, because that's what happens. A lot of people are new. They don't want to say, oh, that I specialize in this. But if you're starting out and you're in training, this is what you specialize in. This is your thing. So, and that's why people are going to seek you out. They want somebody that knows more than they do. And you don't have to wait to get started until you know every single thing. There are times, I was talking to one of the top agents, and she was saying, oh, people will say that you need to know an area back to back before you say you specialize in it. But, this girl is she's killing it, insane numbers. And she said to me, that's not true. She said, a lot of times I'm on Google before I go and meet the people. She said, it's so easy these days. She said, I just Google it. I just Google where I'm going. A lot of times you could use Google Maps and you can see the houses and the neighborhoods and everything. She said, so a lot of times I just Google it before I go to the appointment. So in this day and age, we just got to use technology. So that's what I'm saying. Don't shy away from saying that you specialize in something, because if something comes up, the opportunity, just research it before you show up and have the information handy. So, that's the way I do it. That's the way I would advise you to do it, because if you wait until you specialize and know everything, it's going to take you like a year or two before you can really get out there and start, getting some deals and stuff. So I always say, like I said, my first couple clients, they have no idea that they were my first clients. I got referrals from those. So, I just say, just start out saying, this is what you specialize in. This is why you're perfect for this and stuff like that. There's a guy here in Virginia, in Arlington. Because a lot of people here are like government workers, IT people and stuff like that. And that was his background. And what he did, he positioned himself, because most real estate agents don't have degrees. They're not like highly skilled, highly educated people, because you just have to pass a test to get your real estate license here. And so what he did, he branded himself as like this highly intelligent realtor, that he was like an intel person, blah, blah, blah. And that was his clientele. And that was great, because they have good income. They're the ones, buying houses and stuff. So that's how he branded himself, that, hey, he had like a master's degree. So he branded himself as, hey, I'm this intel person. And then people loved him because they were like, oh, this is a person I could trust. He has the data. He know how to analyze stuff. So people just want to connect with you. So like I said, it's your own personal brand. Nobody can be you. So you got to pick what makes you unique. And so that's the thing. No one else could just come and say, oh yeah, I'm this intel real estate agent, because they couldn't compete with him on that level. So that's what I'm saying. Pick what is unique about you and run with it, and how it can relate to real estate and how you can help people. That is your focus. Don't pull back thinking I'm new and the main thing is, don't pull back. There's something about you that's unique and special, and that's what you need to tap on when you create your branding. Okay, so you just want to it's about, you want to more tell your story than you want to sell yourself, because selling yourself is like listing awards and certificates. That's not as that's not as convincing, like I said, as when you tell a story and people are like, okay, this is why this person matters. That's more compelling than you just listing off, oh, I sold such and such houses, I'm number one in this area. That doesn't convey as well. It it makes us feel good, but what I'm saying is when you think about from the actual client, you selling 100 houses, they don't really care. What they really care about is how are you going to help them. And that was like one of the things when I started. I used to be doing like, oh, I'm this, I got a master's degree, blah, blah, blah. People are like, I don't care. They just want to know, can you close on time? You know what I'm saying? People want to know that. Can you really help me? Can you deliver what you're telling me that you're going to do? That's what people want to know. Okay, so if you're writing a bio for your about page, write conversationally in first person. But if you're writing like a bio for like I was saying when you're thinking about like your long bio, which would be more like for a journalist, that one you want to write that one in the third person would be my tip to you on that one. So if you're writing a short bio, make sure that you just include your key facts and then try to have like a hook about you. Like I said, this is where there's something about your story. You just want to have some type of quick hook. Like I was saying, the girl, Nikki, that's a top agent. If you look at her bio, her hook is she has in the beginning, hey, her mom was a real estate agent and her dad owned a construction company. So she combined those two, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Some type of quick hook that you could include in your short bio. If you're writing a long bio, then you always want to tell a story of, hey, you were doing like I was saying before, even if you don't have clients, your story could be, hey, I bought my first home and things went well and I got equity. I had a great agent. I was able to sell that home, buy a bigger home, and now I just want to help and show people how they can do the same thing. You want to have a story in your long bio because people are going to remember the story. So you want to create a story that really taps on like emotions and things like that. So that's, just something compelling that, people can imagine in your mind. So the best thing is a story. Because basically what they say in marketing is that story sells. That's what they say in marketing. Okay, so step 7 is put your reputation on the map. So like I was saying, is a lot of this is going to be putting yourself out there. And a lot of times when people are new or if they've been agents for a while and they haven't been doing that, they've been, like I tell people, you're losing a lot of business if you don't put yourself out there. I was at a conference and I met with, oh, now her name just slipped me as soon as I said that. It was one of the ladies from, it was Marissa Zanuck. She's one of the ladies from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she took the time. We were there talking one-on-one, and one of the things that she was saying was because I had approached her, I had my camera up, and I was telling her I had a YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. And we were talking about like the TV and stuff, and I was asking her if, being, because she's a real estate agent, I asked her if being on TV, on these shows, does it help like with branding in your business? And then she was saying, just being out there, putting yourself out there, yes, that your business will grow, because she was like, the main thing is you just want your name to be out there all the time. And then you'll get business from that. So she's like, if your name is just out there all the time, that's what you want, because you'll always have business, is what she said to me. So even with YouTube, she's like, keep that up, because that's putting yourself out there. That's putting your branding out there. So it may not feel comfortable, but pushing yourself to be out there makes it memorable. And a lot of times, I'll tell you, with my YouTube channel, a lot of times when I meet with people, they think that they know me. So I don't even, nowadays, when I go and meet with clients, it's been a long time since I've done like my typical long presentation, because most people, when I show up, they already feel like they know me and they're just like, oh, where do I sign? It's because they've seen so much stuff of me online they think that they know me. So even with YouTube, people sometimes I get there and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. Like I'm a star or something. So put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there because that's how you're going to get business, you know? So never lose sight of the fact that we're putting, you know, your reputation on the map. You want to increase your, you know, your Google visibility as well as providing social proof and news fodder for journalists. We say news fodder for journalists is, hey, if somebody sees you, what would they want to write a story about? And I get that. I've had people reach out for me. That's how I got to be featured on, to be like a partnership now with Bigger Pockets. Was they contacted me. They were like, hey, you know, we see your stuff online. It always a professional, you know, we want to talk with you about partnering up. Would you know? So that's what I'm saying. There's so much business and opportunity that I've gotten because people have Googled me and found me, and they're like, oh, you know, I found you online. And that's for, you know, selling houses, helping people buy houses, all that stuff. People found me online. So that's why I tell people now, online now is your storefront. So sometimes people are like, I don't want to be on social media, you know, I'm not going to walk around taking a bunch of selfies. It's not about that. It's about your business. So online right now, your online presence is just like back in the day if you were starting a business and you went and you rented out a storefront. That is what your online presence is today. So you have to put yourself out there. You cannot be like this secret agent or this secret real estate investor because people are not going to want to do business with you. Because nowadays, if people Google you and they can't find you, they think something is wrong, right? They don't think it's something good. Because even me, I will admit, I Google everybody before I meet them. So, and if I don't find anything, that's what I usually think. I usually think, oh, that's kind of weird. I didn't find anything on her. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing that people are going to think. And you don't want to lose business because people don't trust that they could do business with you. Remember, even if it's distressed property, real estate agent, you know, you're talking about someone's biggest investment and they want to know that they don't want to do business with someone that maybe next month they can't find you or something like that. They want somebody that they can trust. They see that you have reviews online, you have legitimate friends online. They want to see there's a real person. So that's why I tell people to build out their social platform before they start spending money on marketing, because you're going to have a higher success rate if your online presence is legit before you start just mailing off and calling people. So many people are like, I've been calling, I'm not getting any leads. And then, like I said, I Googled it and I'm like, I don't even see anything that says you're a real estate investor online. So that's why I said you got to build out your social media presence. It's like your storefront right now. It has to look legitimate and like you're a professional before you go and start spending a bunch of money marketing, because you're just going to be wasting your marketing dollars. Okay. So your action plan is going to be to clarify your brand, and your exercise is going to be the checklist that I attach. A lot of the links and websites and stuff that I mentioned, I'm going to include in the checklist so you guys can go, like I said, look into color psychology and branding and all that stuff, because marketing is your business. If you don't market and get the marketing part down, real estate is just not going to be successful for me. Every single business, you're a marketer first, and then whatever that specialty is in second. So you gotta be an expert in marketing and then real estate. If you don't market and have leads coming in, you will never have a real estate business. So that's why I focus so much on, you gotta get your marketing intact, because it's the piece that's going to give you ongoing business. If you just want to run around and get one deal, anybody can do that. But if you want to have consistent leads coming in, you have to market, and you got to market in an effective way. Okay.